Zoom reported earnings on Monday, but the stock barely moved and is down 2% on the week. At the latest price, the company has a market cap of $19.6 billion, but Zoom also has nearly $8 billion of cash on its balance sheet and no debt, which means the enterprise value is less than $12 billion. Revenue over the last 12 months comes to $4.6 billion with $838 million of net income and $1.6 billion of free cash flow. So with a healthy cash balance and decent gross margins, Zoom looks cheap at only 6 times ebitda and 7 times free cash flow. That valuation is a far cry from the days of the pandemic when Zoom soared to over 100 times sales. What's interesting is that Zoom now trades below where it was before the pandemic started, despite the company seeing a huge boom in users over that time. But that underperformance is clearly rooted in the fundamentals. Zoom revenues grew 88% in 2020 and over 300% in 2021, but growth in 2023 was only 7% and last year was even slower. Forward guidance is also a concern, with Zoom guiding for 2% growth this year. That kind of growth isn't enough, especially when you consider stock-based compensation. Add that figure back to free cash flow and the enterprise value to free cash flow multiple increases to 18. So based on a discounted cash flow valuation, Zoom really needs to get growth up to around 10% a year or more for the stock to produce an adequate return. Of course, Zoom management knows it has to get growth back on track. The company recently launched a contact center business that will allow small businesses to create AI chatbots. They also introduced Zoom Phone, a voice-over internet protocol that companies can use to make voice calls. That may not sound revolutionary, but Zoom Phone has grown well to reach 10% of total revenue. However, that actually highlights another problem. If Zoom Phone is doing so well, that means Zoom's legacy business must be barely growing at all. The real problem is competition from giants like Microsoft and Google, and a lack of a moat around Zoom's products. To get Zoom stock moving back up, the company needs something bigger. An acquisition wouldn't be a surprise given the huge pile of cash, and Zoom has authorized a $1.5 billion share buyback scheme. But Zoom's performance over the past few years speaks for a real lack of ideas. The company needs more, and until that changes, the stock should continue to slide. But these are my personal opinions, not financial advice, and I hold no position in Zoom stock. For more investing videos, make sure to visit my website at 3minutebreakdowns.com. Thank you for watching.